What's going on, everybody? So, for those of you that know me, know that a long time ago we did the John Boy show, right? And I've always been intrigued with the thought of doing another video vlog, whatever you would call it. And there's some people that I've met, realistically, lately. I thought, let's do this again. So I'm gonna kind of talk today, concentrate, on my journey, right? My journey from being overweight, about 350 pounds, to where I'm at now, and then kind of talk to you guys about why I decided to do that, what thought came in, and really kind of dive into my background and talk to you more about, you know, my thoughts and what really finally drove me to the point of saying, you know what, fuck it, I'm going to do this. So, a little bit back about me is my name is John Nader. I'm from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. Live in DC now, and have a very close family, very close with them, very supportive of me, and without their support, without people really, believing me, I don't think I ever really got to where I wanted to get to, and I'm still getting there to this point now. So let's kind of start with my childhood. I grew up in a very nice community in Pittsburgh. My parents gave me everything that I wanted. I never had any issue with getting that new bike or getting in that car or really getting anything that I wanted. I do have ADHD. I have some other stuff going on. So, people I think always kind of thought, oh, there's John. He has ADHD. Oh, there's John, this and that. But what I kind of learned through that was it was a way for me to meet people and a way for me to make friends. I've always been fortunate in the fact that I have a lot of friends. I do. I still have friends from high school that I talk to. Still have friends from college I still talk to, and was able to meet some good friends here in DC and actually do beach too, that I became very close with. So a little bit about me, and kind of going, and then now we're going to talk about kind of how I started with the weight and why I decided to lose it. Right. So I could tell you I wanted to meet more people of the opposite sex. I could tell you that I, wanted to be a better athlete. I could tell you that I wanted to do this and that. The fact of the matter is that I did it because, part of me wanted to prove everybody wrong. Part of me wanted to show everybody that I could do this, right? That I could actually stick to something and actually complete a task, or actually finish something that I said I would do, right? So and then the other part was that about me being actually happy too. Throughout this here journey, I'll be very candid with people, and I'll kind of tell you my story, and my hope is that if it can help someone, great. If it can't, so be it too. But I believe in accepting what you've been given. Like, if you've been given ADHD, accept it and learn to deal with it. If you've been depressed, figure out a way out of it. If you've been have anxiety, figure out a way out of it. So, with me, I have all three. So depression, anxiety, ADHD, like learning disability, speech impairment, I have it all. I have the trifecta, you could say. But again, like, that's made me, in a way, become, I think, a pretty strong person inside. But it's also made me, in essence, want to prove everybody wrong. You want to show people that I can do whatever I want to do. I can talk to whoever I want to talk to. I can go see whoever I want to see. And it's in a way, put a chip on my shoulder, which really doesn't need to be one. I don't really particularly need to have a chip on my shoulder because I have friends. I have a lot of people that care about me, and I'm my own worst enemy. So so let's talk about how I got to be 350 pounds, right? Because you figure that, like, I was always overweight, but I was never really obese, right? Like, 350 pounds is, man, you're fat. Like, let's be perfectly honest here. You're fat. You're not big boned. You've tried to get yourself in a situation where you are extremely overweight and quite frankly, maybe not even happy. Like, I wasn't an athlete at all, and I just ate. Like, I ate a lot, right? I ate pizza, chicken wings, French fries, fast food, like, every day for a long time. And I went out and I got drunk all the time, and I did all these things that just weren't healthy for me or for anyone for that matter. And I continued to do it. What I've learned is I did that because I wasn't happy within my own self. I wasn't happy within my own skin. I wasn't happy about anything. I wasn't. And it took me probably up until a couple years ago to actually say, you know what, man, that might be what you were, but that's not you. So let's get the fuck back up and let's fucking handle it. Because you have to get to that point where you say to yourself, you know, I got here, right? Nobody else got me. No one did this to me to get myself there. I did this to myself. And now I have to be a man or an adult enough to fucking handle it. To say, you know what, fuck it. And in essence, prove everybody wrong, right? Even though I don't have to, I thought that I needed to. So I moved to DC, right? Didn't really have a choice. It was really a situation where my family was concerned about me. And I guess I should say this. So these are all my thoughts and all my opinions. You know, don't, legally speaking, no one told me to do this. So, but I moved to DC. And I wasn't particularly happy in the beginning. You know, I always was, oh, this could be better, or that could be better, or I don't have any friends. You know, woe was me attitude. And like, quite frankly, if you have an attitude like that, but you're always going to be sad and unhappy, you're going to be unhappy. It's going to happen, right? No one can change that. No one can change your own personal happiness. So, you know, got some work done, got some jobs, and still wasn't happy. You know, still was miserable. And it's, you know, I think that if you know, I think people want to say, oh, depression, you're a baby, you're not being a man, you're not tough enough, there's no such thing. Well, there is. And anxiety is the same way. Like, literally, and I'm going to be very candid with everybody here. There have been situations where, like, I will go into a room and I would just shut down. I would literally just shut down and not be able to talk to anyone. Like, literally sit there and, like, or I'll go hide in a corner where I know someone that I'm comfortable talking to. Whether it be a bar, whether it be a restaurant, or and sometimes, a lot of times, it's, you know, it happens to be a bartender that I might have met, or someone that's just nice to me that I will literally hide in a corner and not talk to anyone. And that was part of the anxiety of it, right? That was part of me being so scared of rejection and so scared of everything. Why did I do that? I don't know. I think it's a good friend of mine that does a podcast, and a lot of stuff that he says I can relate to, right? You know, you were always the kid picked on. You were always this, that, and the other. But at the end of the day, man, like, that was done when I was fucking 12 years old. Like, I'm 37 years old at this point in my life. Like, it's time that I forgive that stuff. It's time that I forgive that stuff, because if I keep on being that negative person and that unhealthy person, I'm going to lose all my friends. I will. And I'm going to annoy the new friends that I've made, right? Because I've been fortunate enough to meet in Dewey some pretty good people. In DC, some pretty good fucking people. And it's actually makes me feel like it's home. So these things started kind of come together, and I was still overweight, still fat, but I was starting to get happier, right? And then, probably about a year ago in September, right? I was still, my first summer in Dewey, I was still a big guy, but I was happy. Like, I met some pretty cool fucking people, right? Pretty accepting people. You know, some lived in Dewey, some worked in Dewey, some were my housemates, but I was able to meet some people that I thought were pretty fucking cool. And I was fortunate to make some very close friends of mine. And while I may not live, and while some of them I don't live in the same area as them, I know that these particular people have my back. So I had that in Dewey. And I have it here too. I have a girl I went to college with who I adore, and I have some friends in DC that I adore too, and I know that accept me for me, right? So I was happy, right? So I got that handled. But I'm still overweight. You know, let's try it. Let's see what happens. So I went to Title Boxing. I had some money saved up, and I got a trainer. And initially, like, I worked out, but I didn't eat right. But I started to work out, and I started just not even to look at the scale. And then, next thing you know, I'm down to 300 pounds, which is great, right? Like, 320, then 300, which is awesome. And I was getting, again, I'm my own worst enemy, and I'm sure there's people out here with weight issues that are the same way. You know, you convince yourself why you can't do something. And that's no way to live your life, man. Or anyone. Like, there's no fucking way to just sit there and say, oh, I can't do this, or oh, I can't do that. The one thing you guys will hear me say a lot is,